Hello and welcome to another edition of the Full Force News Burst, brought to you by GeneralsJoes.com. With me as your host, Chris. I have no idea what is going on, McLeod, aka Diagnostic. Joining me today, aka Diagnostic 80. I don't know, I just dropped like an entire element of my moniker there. Joining me today to discuss the news of Jefferys Toy Box and the tweet heard round the world is Adam. What in the who now? Riches. So without further ado, let's get stuck into this news burst. What the actual is going on right now? First, we heard news of a potential Toys R Us return a few days ago due to the lender's change of mind during the auction for the brand's assets. News broke that they would instead be reorganising assets into a new company that would maintain the current licence agreements and invest in new retail operating businesses. Then, another story broke out at the Dallas Toy Preview show that the brand would be coming back and operating under a new name, Jefferys Toy Box. It was also mentioned that Jefferys Toy Box, it's going to take some time to get used to, would be launching consumer locations across the country as soon as this coming November as a shop within a shop concept, initially partnering with a prominent Midwest retailer. Just as we were all reeling from the news of a comeback in such a short space of time, the official Toys R Us Twitter page posted a tweet that didn't go down very well for obvious reasons. The tweet read, "Guess who's back? He's been travelling across..." Guess who's back in the motherfucking house?
Guess who's back? It's your boy!
He's been travelling across the globe for the past few months, but now Geoffrey's back, but that's hashtag. And once again ready to set play free for children of all ages. Share some of your favourite memories and get ready to make a whole lot of new ones.
Was the play trapped?
The tweet was jumped on by old staff and sympathisers to all of the people who lost their jobs in this quite brash show of capitalist business apathy, and in hindsight was probably not a good idea to post right now. This is all happening very fast. It's becoming very difficult to understand what's going on with this story, but we will try our best to sort it out and discuss our thoughts on the topic. Adam, hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Hit me with your best shot. Sorry,
I mean, there's a lot to unload here. Like, obviously, Jeffrey's a stone cold assassin.
Sorry, you said load, so I've got to put a boing in there. Yeah,
naturally. Yeah. Also, the name Jefferys Toy Box absolutely sucks.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But anyway, okay. First, let's focus on the first point. We'll get to that. The first point was the initial decision, which we've already spoken about when Justin and myself and you we discussed that whole angle. So if you want to hear our thoughts on that, go and listen to that episode. But going into this Dallas preview show and this information coming out that they're rebranding the name, they're looking to set up a shop within a shop setup, and link up with a well-known Midwest retailer. What are your thoughts on these things?
Well, first of all, I'd like to know who said prominent Midwest retailer is, because that's pretty damn vague. You know, if you want to relaunch, it might be nice to have any kind of concrete details. Yes. Otherwise, it's like, get excited about nothing.
Also, the fact they said November, and I'm like, that's not that long away. That's like literally round the corner. And if
it's
we
like
don't
2
know,
weeks. Yeah.
if they're not telling us, then they don't know either, right?
Yeah, that does seem a little sketchy, man. You just have to wonder, like, what is the secret cabal that these businesses operate under? Because you would think that, like, all these big suppliers that were owed hundreds of millions of dollars must be so mad at them, and then you're like, oh, but no, it's all good. Like, a month later, we're going to reopen and we'll be carrying your product again.
There's this really weird feeling, especially, so the Dallas preview show, kind of, you know, Geoffrey turns up, as in the mascot turns up, and people are like taking pictures of him, and he's like parading around as if like, hey, look, guess who's back?
A tape that says back from vacation.
I know. It's like, what the hell is going on here? Like, it's just I don't know, it just kind of rubbing it in the faces of the 30,000 people that got screwed over because of this. And I can totally understand the kind of hate that poured through. Not from, actually, that story kind of went under the radar a bit because it's still being liked on our Facebook page, and it's slowly crept up to about like 80, 90 likes or something like that, or reactions. And I kind of feel like that really did like sneak under the radar a little bit. I haven't heard many people talking about the Jefferys Toy Box angle, and then lo and behold, like I'm messaging you and Justin going, we need to talk about this, we need to get on this, and you're like, you know, hold your horses for a bit, and I'm kind of glad you did, because all of a sudden we get this tweet from the official Facebook page which is, I think, in really poor taste, personally. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that the reason the Dallas Toy Show thing got kind of maybe flew under the radar a little bit is because they sold off all of the Geoffrey mascot costumes, and so for the last couple of months he's been showing up in all these really weird places, like he's had like independent wrestling matches and stuff. So people are probably just like, oh, this is just,
he was at TF Nation as well. Yeah,
I'm walking around this toy show, like, you know, like, I don't think they gathered. Which actually, that brings me to another point I've wanted to say. I don't know why, if they're going to try and kind of like wipe the slate clean here and do something fresh, why they didn't rebrand Geoffrey, because I think we're all in agreement that the current simple Geoffrey design is like hot garbage.
Yeah.
And it would have been really nice with them having already liquidated that, and that's sort of now being viewed as like the face of failure, to maybe go back and just tweak his design a little.
Yeah, not even, like exactly, like upgrade it, like go into, some sort of, totally, because I didn't expect them to go all retro. Like, I didn't expect them to do something like that. But I definitely, like, if you're going to rebrand, and I'm using air quotes, again, we're on an audio podcast, and a video, but I don't actually have video of me doing that. You kind of think, like, okay, if it's Jefferys Toy Box, fair enough. You've got the Geoffrey name. Where does the Toys R Us go? Because, like, this is what I'm confused about. It was the Toys R Us official Twitter page that posted the tweet, but prior to that, they're talking about becoming Jefferys Toy Box. So I don't know, like, what's going on? Did they just not update the Twitter page to change the name, or are they going to keep that because it's already there and easy, and they've already got the audience attached to it? I don't really know what's going on here. And also, the whole feeling around this thing is really gross, and I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm never going there, I'm not going to shop there or anything. I'm going to check this out because I want to know what the hell's going on. But at the same time, I totally understand people kind of boycotting it a bit and saying, oh, I'm not going to that place. It's you know, after what they did and all this kind of stuff. I kind of understand that, but then you got to look at it from the other kind of point of view. This isn't the first time this has happened in business, and people still flock to all of the other stuff. I mean, this is happening like probably on a weekly, monthly basis anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, and also, I mean, I might be totally misreading this, but they put out a press release on Toysruscom, which you can read right now, and it's TLDR, so I'll spare you for the podcast. But basically what I gathered from that was that the Jefferys Toy Box, like store within a store concept, is actually... Is that
the initial layout kind of thing?
I think so, and I think I might have this totally wrong, but what I kind of gathered from that was that Jefferys Toy Box is only selling the brands that Toys R Us owns. So, like, just hypothetically say it's in Walmart. Like, Walmart already has its own toy section. Jefferys Toy Box is only there to sell Imaginarium, Koala Baby, Fast Lane, Journey Girls, like the stuff that is actually owned by Toys R Us.
I see.
And so the name Toys R Us is actually reserved for the store Toys R Us, which is probably still to come at some point in the future, assuming this actually happens.
Okay, that makes a hell of a lot more sense. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. So it'll just be that this is their new thing they're trying. And I suppose, in a way, kind of makes sense to do something like that, because they can obviously knock that stuff up really quick. The stores are already built for this kind of thing. It's going to be a lot cheaper to implement. The workers are already in the position to work in the store, so it's not like they have to hire loads of people to do so. So I can see how it could be like an initial stopgap kind of thing.
Well, and the whole concept of that, if I have that correct, is actually kind of funny, because over the years Toys R Us bought FAO Schwarz and bought KB Toys, and they've since let both of them go during the bankruptcy, or before it. But at one time, Toys R Us was selling products branded by FAO Schwarz and KB Toys as almost like a store within a store inside of Toys R Us. So it's funny to see this kind of having a whole full circle, but...
This is the inception of toy selling and business at the moment, and it is just as confusing, in all honesty.
I should also say, for the record, that I actually kind of think this is a bad idea, because...
Yeah?
well, mostly because... I mean, and granted, this is not marketed to me. These aren't action figures. I don't really care about them. But, like, the stuff that they have listed in the press release, Imaginarium, Koala Baby, Fast Lane, and Journey Girls, does anyone even care about that stuff? Like, I mean,
I only just about cared about True Heroes. I mean, I was getting that because there was no Joe stuff out, really. But I do like the stuff, but I know what you mean.
I'm up on what kids like. Like, I know what, like, you know, Lowell Surprise and Fingerlings and all these things are, even though I don't personally care about them. I've never even heard of half of this stuff. I've heard of Imaginarium and Journey Girls, but I don't know if anyone actually wants it or cares about it.
Yeah.
And so it seems to me like their logic is, well, everyone's talking about Toys R Us, so we better do something to keep the brand alive. But I would almost argue that, let the absence make the heart grow fonder, keep it away for a full Christmas season, and then come back the following year, guns blazing with an actual retail store and a better strategy.
It doesn't surprise me here that they're going, we don't want to miss a Christmas opportunity. They don't want to miss this season out. Like they feel like there is money to be made here. People, that's the thing at Christmas, people buy anything. It's mental. Like when I go and see Nick at the store during Christmas, the amount of crap he shifts during Christmas that's sat on those shelves for 8, 9, 10 months of the year, and then all of a sudden it's just like Christmas comes along. Oh, we finally sold that 50th 2-pack set. we finally sold the Loyal Subjects gold-headed Destro and gold Cobra Commander 2-pack figures. The what is it? The Shadow Ninja Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow Loyal Subjects. They had those for so long. It was hilarious. And yeah, and I kind of feel like they're thinking, okay, now that we have decided, okay, let's keep what we've got and just put it out there and rebrand it and get it out there again. They're thinking, right, they're thinking money. But I agree with you. I think, who's going to be buying that stuff? Seriously. Yeah,
then I almost wonder, with how fast the whole liquidation and everything occurred, is this even new product, or is this stuff that they just had that they've held on to that they didn't get rid of during the clearance? It's just weird. I don't know. It doesn't...
None of this sits right. None of it feels good, and it does scream of this whole, corporate... backstabbing kind of horrible, it's like, oh yeah, well, you've got to grow up and you've got to live in the real world. It's like, yeah, you've also got to be fairly nice to people as well.
I mean, I'll say for the record, I love toys, I collect toys, I work in toys. Toys R Us needs to exist, and while I'm sad about the jobs, don't get me wrong, I don't want to sound like a monster. I want the store to come back, obviously. Yeah. But it's not even that it feels bad for me in an ethical way. It just feels kind of thrown together, and it doesn't carry the weight that I thought it would. I mean, right now with Spirit Halloween occupying the souls of all the former Toys R Us, you could still walk inside of them, and half of them still have Toys R Us signage up. So it doesn't really feel like it's gone. It really hasn't been long enough to feel like you're seeing an old friend. This just feels like we went on summer vacation.
Well, that's and that's even what the tweet said. It's he's been away for a few months on vacation, and oh great, that's nice. I'm sure all the the amount of people it's affecting is massive. I mean, this isn't this is global. Other than Canada and I think there's a country in between. There's a country in between Yemen and other than very few areas in the globe. This is literally a worldwide problem.
Yeah, they actually tell you that in that press release on the website. It says the reorganized company will own the rights to the Toys R Us and Babies R Us brands in all markets globally, with the exception of Canada, because they sold that one.
Yeah.
But it will also become the licensor of the brands to the company's existing network of franchisees. So they've franchised these locations, operating in countries across Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, and South Africa.
Yeah, and that was pretty much what it was before, I believe, especially with the UK, because there was a separation. It was almost like a licensee, franchisee type thing. So I think that was kind of how it was before. I think they've just reverted to type here. I think they've just reverted to what was kind of almost in place previously. It's just really weird how this... I mean, it's really kind of a bit messed up. They've gone through it. And we said this on the last... Well, I said this on the last recording we did about this. I said it feels like they're kind of rubbing their hands together and going, we got away with it to each other, but everybody can hear them say this, and they know that they can be heard saying it. It just feels really, really gross, but it's almost like they've gone through the loopholes they need to do in order for it to be legal. What I can also see is the fact that they're doing this initial launch, Toys R Us, store within the store setup. That's, to me, is easier to boycott. So that it could backfire on them very early on, because a lot of the people that don't want to support it, which is a lot of people when you think about the reaction it got on Twitter and Facebook, and then if you think about, again, 30,000 people and probably more, I don't know what the exact number is, but a lot of people and their family members and their extended friends group that's a lot of people that might be pissed off about Toys R Us. Do you know what I mean? And coming back so fresh and all like everything's cool and fine, that's put a lot of people's noses out of joint. And like I said, I'm going to be. I want to check this out. I want to see what's going on. I'm not saying I'm going to buy everything in the store within a store, but I want to know what this is all about. And yeah, just crazy, man. Just crazy.
Well, the good news is when this recording is outdated in 3 days, we probably will know what's up. So by the time you get this edited, we'll already have the next installment ready.
Yes. And on that bombshell, have you got anything else to add, Adam?
Just that I have the dissenting opinion, and I'll be happy to support all of Jeffrey's Toy Box endeavors. I love you, Jeffrey. I'm gonna buy everything. and sorry about your jobs, everyone.
Do you know, like, this is the thing though. Like, I know, you know, tongue in cheek and everything, but at the same time, like, I was really happy when I first heard about Toys R Us making a comeback, but then the whole Jeffrey's Toy Box thing hit me a bit kind of, oh, that's a bit weird. Like, I was thinking, like, you know, when we discussed it, I was thinking next year, maybe in a couple of years' time, as they've built and, you know, got back on their feet or something. But this screams to me of like some real shady, horrible stuff. And I just hope that in some way, because I kind of feel like there are a lot of people that need to be righted in this, and I think that I can't see a company giving anything to those people, do you know what I mean, that don't legally have a necessary right, a need to. And they won't, because that company doesn't exist anymore. Exactly. Now Jeffrey LLC's assets have been acquired by secured lenders. That's the thing though, isn't it? That's what makes it so gross. It's like, it's almost like, I feel like it's the same people that lost it and threw it away, the same people that are now in charge of it again, because you don't know the ins and outs of all that stuff. They give all these names and they talk about all this, you know, this LLC owns it and this asset's gone over here, but all those people are the same, basically. They're all up there, they're all like interconnect, whatever. They're all like linked in some way anyway. So I kind of feel like that this is all really just, again, I love saying it, and I think like everything's smoke and mirrors. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it does sound like that on some of my episodes. So I don't know, it's just really odd, and I feel a bit gross about it. But I do hope that in some way maybe they do offer people who used to work there a job or something down the line when it becomes Toys R Us again. Do you know what I mean? I hope that is done, and then it's not, at least it would be like the new owners are trying to make amends for what happened previously. Do you know what I mean? Like something like that. But I just can't see it happening, honestly. Well, I for one welcome our new giraffe overlord, but I would have to think those people will have a leg up in the application process. You know, you've already been in the system. Yeah, in you get again. Let's hope so. But again, I'm sure a lot of people have moved on and got new jobs by now, or by that point. I hope so anyway. And for those that don't, I hope they get another opportunity to get involved if they want to. I mean, they might feel like, you know, F you assholes. I know I probably would. Yeah, they might try to burn it down from the inside now. They're going to have to be careful with the vetting of the hire. Well, yeah. Anyway, I suppose that's the end of our chat on this really odd story. But we will, no doubt, as Adam mentioned, we will probably be updating this tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But we will try and keep ahead of the game on our Facebook page and Twitter. That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Thank you to my awesome co-host Adam. See you next time, and as always, full Toys R Force. I know, it's Jeffrey's Force Box. Or Jeffrey's Toy Force. That works. Sticking with that one. Oh my goodness. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of these platforms with feedback, questions, or to say, who do you think you are? A serious operation now? No, not even close. Look out for more of these news bursts that we are posting on the Facebook page from now on. Full Force.